Who is it? It's me, Bruce. Answer the phone. It's the paper boy.
What's your favorite scary movie? Oh, wait. Wrong one.
That's all right. We'll go with it.
That's for a different day.
That's for a different day. Welcome back to the Last in Class podcast. As always, I'm Mike.
Sakura.
And Tyler.
Sakura with the sound effects every single week. All right, tonight we're doing, to continue the horror movies we've been doing, we did Smile last week. This week we are doing Black Phone. Also, spoiler alert, mostly because it was free for all of us on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
Yeah, I paid for it.
Did you?
No.
I was going to say, what?
I was like, that's why we chose these movies.
No, it gave me the option. It was like, did you want to watch the free version or do you want to watch the paid version? I was like,
I
well,
want to pay for it even though it's free.
yeah. What kind of smart TV is this?
This week we're doing Black Phone. I just said it. Tyler, before we go into the movie details, where can they get their info at?
You can check us up on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Last in Class Podcast.
That's right.
.com.
We're going to actually post stuff soon. For all those who actually have checked and we're like, there's nothing there. All right, we're doing Black Phone, rated
What
R.
are we doing?
Black Phone, baby.
All right.
White phone?
I'm allowed to say it more than once.
Okay.
I'm so excited. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
I'm just shaking in my boot.
I need this, I think.
Yeah, you do. All right, this film's rated R. Runtime of 1 hour, 43 minutes. Rotten Tomato score of 88 or 83%.
Whoa.
What?
The Rotten Tomato score.
Budget of $16 to $18 million and a box office of 161. It's kind of one of those like hidden gem movies that came out in the theaters and boxed a lot of money. Directed by Scott Derrickson. He did Doctor Strange, Sinister, Exorcism of Emily Rose. He was also one of the writers on it, along with Joe Hill and C. Robert Cargill.
He was also supposed to do Doctor Strange 2, but he didn't.
Yeah, most of the Marvel directors back out after they do one movie because they don't really get to do what they want to do. So
Yeah.
all right, our first star of the movie character is Finney, played by Mason Thames. He was in Evil. I think it was like an Evil Knievel type of movie or something. Walker, For All Mankind. I think those were TV shows. His sister Gwen is played by Madeline McGraw. She was in A Christmas Wish, Mandela Effect, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Also does like a lot of voice work on stuff. The Grabber is played by Ethan Hawke. He's in Sinister, The Purge, Boyhood, Training Day. We all know Ethan Hawke.
Yes.
Training Day.
You like that one?
Yeah.
I don't.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Their dad, Terrence, is played by Jeremy Davis. He was in Saving Private Ryan, Lost, Ravenous, Twister. One of the friends, Robin, played by Miguel. Who gets that name?
Good luck on that one.
Cazares. Mora?
Mora.
Something
and
like
I
that.
think this was his only credit I saw, so probably his first movie. His friend Bruce is played by Tristan Prevong. He was in Forever and a Day. Didn't really see much else. Max is the Grabber's brother. He's played by James Ransone. He was in Sinister 1 and 2 and It Chapter 2. Detective Wright is played by E. Roger Mitchell. Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Equalizer, Sully. Detective Miller, played by Troy Rudisill. He was in Halloween Kills and lots of TV stuff.
How do you not like Training Day?
I've only seen it once. And has that been on your mind since I said it?
Yeah.
It's probably a very unpopular decision. I would have to rewatch it. I can't give it a fair
It's a good movie.
assessment right now. Well, I didn't think so when it first came out, but we're not covering that movie today. Today we're covering Black Phone. I think that's like the 6th time I said it now. I love Denzel Washington.
Then you should like Training Day.
That's not how it always works.
Well, it should.
Even like my favorite actors are in movies that I don't like.
Tomato.
You don't like Jamie Lee Curtis and Halloween Ends?
Jamie Lee Curtis is fine in that movie. I hate the movie. Even Tom Hanks, he was in Lady Killers, and I can't stand that movie. So,
Hey, life's like a box of chocolates. Never know what you're going to get.
wrong movie.
I know, but still.
We're going back to the Black Phone.
I'm going to derail
I'm going to like
this.
tally on the screen how many times you have said Black Phone.
In like less than 5 minutes, too.
I'm going to keep going with it. All All right, this movie takes place in North Denver in 1978, and it's basically about are they in high school at this point?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Or middle school,
Like-
or is it kind of all? Because like the little kids are
They're
there.
like, they look little. I don't know.
Some of them look a bit little, but others look big. So it could just be a mixture.
It's either like late middle school or early high school. And Finney is our main character, and he has an abusive dad. His mother's dead. and
Ouch.
yeah, ouch. And there's someone called the Grabber.
And his sister.
Yeah, and his sister. And there's someone called the Grabber around town who's been like abducting children, and they've been disappearing. So it's like on the mind of everybody. And he actually seems like a really good kid, you know.
Yeah, he seems fine. He's a little bitch, but he's fine.
So he's playing baseball, and he's the pitcher. He's really good at pitching, even though, man, I hate those pitches. They look fake. They sound fake.
He had a hell of a slider from what
Just-
I saw.
Yeah, he could play in the MLB.
Yeah,
This pitch was mid though.
Just
yeah.
let the kid throw the ball and record it, and it'll be
Yeah.
fine. you
Or
guys.
just throw a show. Just show a throwing motion.
no, don't even do that. Just let the kid throw a ball.
Like Charlie Sheen in Major League, they
You-
let him pitch.
Charlie Sheen can actually pitch. I think he used to pitch
Yeah,
in
he
like
did.
high school or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, the man's a beast. At the same time, also his sister kind of has like psychic abilities. It seems like in her
Some type of
dreams,
superpower type.
which
thing.
apparently their mom had because the dad keeps like hitting her for doing what his mom did or her mom did. The other kid on the baseball team who he was pitching to was like his friend Bruce. And he was riding a bike after the game. You see he watches as Finney's rocket goes up, and then he drives up to a black van, and it kind of like goes, you know.
to a black screen. Faded away
Black
thing.
screen, you know, as in Bruce just got abducted by the Grabber.
So that was Finney's rocket.
Yeah.
So I was right.
What? I don't.
Finney does get abducted.
Yes, genius. I was being
I know.
sarcastic.
Oh, I don't know.
Me and Tyler were both being sarcastic when you were like, he gets abducted. We're like, yeah, he's the main character.
I don't know. They all look the same. You have a button for that.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
don't
don't
need
you
the
have a button for that?
I don't. That's obnoxious clapping.
You have a button for that.
Either way, his friend's gone, and he's also getting bullied by these other kids in school. And then his friend Robin, who we see like beat this other kid to a pulp, like take him down, like punch him repeatedly in the face.
Over and over
Yeah, he
again.
kind of like protects him.
Because he
one-
teaches them math.
Yeah, he's like, you know,
Trade
mess
for a
with
trade.
Finn. Yeah, and he's gonna fail out. So yeah, switches up.
I like
from
how
him.
he was getting worried about getting expelled for failing math, except for he just whooped some kid's ass. Like, you'll probably get expelled for that, though, too.
That wasn't on school property though, so you can't do that.
True.
Remember,
Okay.
this is the 70s where no one cared. And if you watch this movie, this is like the most violent town in the history of America because everyone is just getting beat down. Because there's multiple fights in this movie.
This movie kind of gives me like It vibes. Still like a group of young kids getting beat up and kind of like a weird town and something weird's happening. I don't know. It just kind of felt like it was It at the same time.
It's got a little bit of that vibe. They don't have like the clubly. I don't. They're not like a club,
Yeah.
but
They're bros.
I know they're bros. but
Stranger Things.
They never really show them hang out technically because the movie has to go fast enough.
Yeah.
Even though it goes very slow.
I like the slow pacedness of this movie, actually. I'm okay with it. So overall, eventually, his friend Robin also gets abducted. His sister, Gwen, she's like, he keeps asking her to like, did you dream? Did you see anything? And she's not seeing anything. She basically knows they're dead. But like, he doesn't want to give up because they're his friends and stuff like that. And then they go to school, and he's getting picked on by those 3 bullies again, like getting beat down. And then Gwen comes in and hits one in the head with a rock, like really hard. And he's like bleeding from the head, like really bad. And the other 2 are just like punching her and kicking her and her and Finn.
Yeah.
It's like, these kids, this is like
Like,
brutal.
they don't care.
I've never even seen any fights in my life like this.
Yeah.
And this is happening like every 15 minutes in this movie.
I didn't think he was gonna start bleeding like that. Obviously, you can tell that it was a big hit then. You know,
yeah.
gushing blood like that. But
It's bad. He needs to go to the hospital.
yeah, and then they both like sit down and make eye contact with each other, and then they just keep looking at what's going on in front of them.
Also, so the dad starts abusing the sister Gwen for having dreams and trying to do that type of stuff. Wait, it was
because the cops
detectives, yeah.
came to his work.
Yeah, they visit me at my work. It's like, were you in trouble? No.
She knew a detail about one of the abductions that no one else knew.
Yeah, the
Was
balloons.
the black balloons.
I thought it was a reference of heroin.
Yeah, no, it's just literally balloons.
Yep.
Because the grabber is a magician, or a wannabe magician.
Yeah.
Don't know. So he's beating her because the cops came and visited the dad at work, because they're like following her because they're like, okay, she's seeing stuff, which I also don't buy that they would be going to like a little middle school girl.
Yeah.
But I'll accept it for the movie.
Will you though?
I will, sir.
All right. The dad really goes to town on this little kid
Yeah, the dad's crazy. He's got this big old beard and this long hair.
and this belt that he just beats his daughter with. And he tells her she can't put ice on her wounds.
Yeah.
What a prick.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her the whole movie.
Yeah.
She's got it bad. Because technically her only friend, Finn, her brother and best friend basically gets taken. So it's got to be rough. She's got no one.
Downtown.
She has like that one friend that she goes to Friday nights, but that's literally about it. It's her and Finn the whole time.
Yeah, so the one night when she is going to go spend the night at her friend's house, that's when Finn is like walking down the street and we see the black van again, like we saw with Robin and we saw with Bruce. And we see like a guy come out like and drop like a bag of groceries, and he's got this like high pitched voice.
Yeah,
He's like,
trying
"Oh."
to act all friendly
Yeah.
and joyful.
And he's like playing with the broken eggs and stuff like, can you hand me my hat? Like, okay, Finn, you know there's a guy called the Grabber out there, and this guy has a jet black van.
Yeah, exactly.
And
He's got a mask on too at that point, right?
no,
Oh, he does.
that's just his
Yeah,
face.
Yeah.
But they don't show it really to us. So he like, you need any help? Like the dumb Finn, like you should recognize the situation you're going in.
Yeah.
And then he like immediately he's like, there's balloons or whatever in the back, and he like opens the door and like sprays the stuff in his mouth and like abducts him. The next thing you know, Finn wakes up in the basement of a house,
What
like on a mattress.
kind of like middle/high school kid would be like, "Oh, sweet balloons."
Yeah, I know.
Like,
He was like, "Is that balloons back there, or whatever?" And I think that's going to like the detectives being like, "There's black balloons at the scene," so that I think he's trying to put the things together and realize, "Oh crap, he's the grabber."
Well, it's like you literally have there's someone called the Grabber, and it's like a small town,
Yeah.
and he's got like the most inconspicuous, like I don't know, this vehicle stands out. It's jet black van. Duh, search it. Especially in 1978, they didn't care about the rules.
Yeah.
So then I think Finn wakes up. Is the Grabber in the room at that point?
Yeah, I think because then I think he starts to wake up after being knocked out from whatever spray it was. So his vision's kind of blurry, but then he's like right there, like complaining that he had like scratched him with like his rocket ship,
Oh yeah, in the
object
arm.
that he had or whatever.
And
Yeah,
he's like putting him in the basement. He's like, I should snap your neck right now or whatever.
yeah, something like that.
Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm not gonna snap your neck.
Yeah,
I don't know, his voice is weird.
I
in
didn't
this
mean
movie.
what I said there. Yeah, really creepy voice.
And he at this point he's got a mask on with like no mouth. So his mask keeps evolving. It's like different sections. So you're
There's
seeing
three different
parts of his face at different times. I don't know about you guys, but he never seems intimidating to me at any point in this movie.
No, not really.
I like how he played it and stuff like and everything like that, but I feel like Robin for sure could have probably fought his way out of this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah, well he could have.
But he didn't.
Well he could have. Should have.
Yeah.
Robin's the man. He
Yeah.
protected my man Finn.
Finny.
It's Finn too though. So this basement is just like one main room, and there's almost like a little tiny hallway that leads to the bathroom. And there's some stuff in there, like there's rolled carpets left in there.
Yeah,
Like I feel like he wouldn't leave that in there.
yeah, that's true. We'll see. Maybe it had something to do with some of the other kids. So maybe he was getting in the middle of getting rid of it or something, and just left it in there.
I don't know. And then there's like a black phone on the wall, and he's like, it doesn't work. But like Finn, like at one point touches it. He's like, don't touch it though. Don't lift it. Don't do anything.
Yeah, I was like, if it doesn't work and you can touch it, like,
So Finn tries to get it to work, but there, the cord is tore or whatever. But then the phone rings at some point.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's on the phone, so he like puts it down and it rings again. I think right away.
yeah.
Did he hear anything the first time?
The
Or-
first time he doesn't hear anything, and then it rings again. He answers it. There's nothing, but I think as he's gonna hang it up, he heard something, and then it whispered "Finny," and then he hung it up right away and just like ran away from the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was like the next day it rings again, but I remember he wakes up and the guy's just like sitting in a chair, just staring at him, as he's like sleeping or whatever. He's like, I just like to look at you or whatever. I was just like,
Yeah,
what?
definitely creeper vibe. Like, I don't, at this point, it's like, is he a rapist or is he just a murderer?
Yeah.
Like, what's his, they never really fully explain. And that's one of the problems I have with this movie is just like Smile. I need a little bit more information.
Yeah, that's true.
We never get like you don't necessarily have to have a reason why, but like sometimes
It helps.
sometimes give you a little bit of a tidbit or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, his brother's in this, and his brother, I mean, he's crazy on the other side of the spectrum, but
Yeah.
he's not like a killing people.
Yeah.
He's like a cokehead who's obsessed with following the case.
Mhm.
I like his character. It's funny.
And the basement is soundproof. He said, he
I
soundproofed
soundproofed it myself.
Yeah. Do it one more time.
I soundproofed it myself.
I won't do-
gee whiz. Soundproofed it myself.
I won't do anything you won't like.
Salt and pepper.
That might be my quote of the movie, actually, is when he...
Eat it or don't. Salt and pepper.
He's like, I already have you down here. Why would I poison you?
Yeah.
So might as well just say the quote now, then I'll find it really fast. Salt and pepper. Eat it, don't eat it. You're already down here. What do I need to drug you for?
Yeah. So it's just some context behind it. He wakes up, and the day before, he had asked Finney if he likes soda or pop or whatever. And then the next day, he comes in with eggs and pop.
Gross.
And then he,
I'll bring you soda.
What a gross combination.
You just don't like eggs. I mean, I'm not a big fan of them either, but
Yeah, but eggs and pop? Ugh.
pop is good 24 hours a day.
Not
So.
with eggs, though. Come on.
And for those of you who don't live in Michigan, it's soda.
Soda. Or Coke if you're from down south.
No. See, I'll accept pop. I'll accept soda. I'll accept soda pop. But if you are saying Coke, that's just wrong. If you want like a Sprite and you say Coke, that's wrong.
yeah, okay, I agree
Say
with that.
Sprite Coke.
Like a Sprite Coke mix?
No.
I remember I was down like in the South and I went to a restaurant with my family and I was like, I'll take a Coke. And they're like, what kind of Coke do you want? I'm like, Coke. Like, that's not how it works, you guys.
Sprite Coke.
Soda pop, any version of those, move those words around. Fully acceptable.
Carbonated. high
Carbonated
fructose
beverage,
syrup.
I'll take that too.
Carbonated soda.
There's just no rhythm to this movie to talk about.
Yeah, it's throwing
It's
us
because,
off.
like, he gets a phone call, like, every other night or something, so we don't know, like, what happens between here, or the phone call. Or
Yeah.
what he
Nothing
does.
happens. He's
So-
just trapped in a basement.
He starts getting more phone calls, and it starts being like one kid at a time.
This is the part I actually liked in the movie.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. I wish it would have been.
This was the
delved
interesting part of
more.
the movie. Yeah.
And so it'd be like one kid at a time, and he'd be saying like, "Okay, by the wall, there's this, cord or something like that."
Like, each of the kids had tried something
Yeah.
when they were there, and
So-
they were
Couldn't
given...
So-
remember their names.
There's a couple that we don't know. Like they do say the names because the kids don't remember their names, and Finney has to remember like who the victims were. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head.
Benny.
I know. One was
One
Bruce.
is Bruce. Ends up being Robin.
Robin, Billy. I think Billy was the paper
Paper
boy.
boy.
Yeah.
Then there was the pinball machine guy. I don't remember what his name was. And then there was one more, I think.
The rocker dude.
That was the pinball
That was
machine guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's 5 of them because they said it, but I don't remember what the last person was. But
Yeah. So each one like there's one with the cord or whatever who's like there's a cord under there, and he tries to get out the window and that fails. So another one gives another adventure like dig a hole. There's something under there, so he digs a hole, and another one is like dig a hole in the wall, and it goes into the freezer, so he can't get out that way. But each one, it's like everyone took it one step further, so one person would finally be able to fight back with a grabber. So that is probably the best thing this movie had going for it. That was the coolest concept of it all. So detectives keep trying to find, all the missing kids. Obviously, they start knocking on doors, and they knock on this guy Max's door, and he's like, and they're like, "Have you seen this boy?" He's like, "Come inside." And like immediately Max is all like, he's got this board. He's like, "Okay, there's grabber is doing this, and he's like, I think he lives right here somewhere, And he's pointing, and the detectives are like, "Oh man, this guy's crazy." And they're just trying to get out. And he's like, "No, I'll call you if I have more leads. Just call us if you see any of these kids. No, I was gonna, and make sure you pick up the mess before your brother comes home," because he tells them it's his brother's house. And they like look down at the counter, and he's got like 3 lines of Coke, and he's just like, oh, he's like shaking his head, and he does Coke.
yeah, it's funny because then he gets all mad about it, sits on the couch, looks at it, and then he just shrugs his shoulders and then just goes for it.
Right, and it turns out that Max is the grabber's brother technically.
Yeah. Because like after he does the line of coke, you get like that camera view of it slowly going down to the bottom of the house, and it happened to be Finney in the basement there.
Yeah. So like I got a little confused at the end because it turns out at the end of the movie that like the grabber has 2 houses across the street. One of them has the bodies in it, and one of them has Finney in it. But I feel like the one that Max was in is the one that had the
I think
bodies
it's just
under it.
Yeah, I think it's just trying to trick you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
later
like an
once the
audience
reveal, it tries to trick you with that.
Yeah.
It just didn't fully work for me. But
Tried to be too smart.
plus, how can a magician in 1978 afford 2 houses
It's true.
when he's busy not working and abducting people?
Well, we don't know what he's doing when, he's not torturing kids.
He's a magician.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we don't know how many shows he's doing. He might be pretty good.
True.
Do you want to see a magician with a voice like this?
Maybe he's just stealing shit from his clients.
That's true, I guess.
Plus, it's the 70s. Things were cheap.
That is also true.
They were cheap because people didn't make any money.
Right. He obviously made a ton of money.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you get all these phone calls from each of the kids, and one of them did the line that we said, and then one of them was the pinball machine guy, and he said that you would have to grab the carpets that was in the bathroom and then line it up to the window, like you said, with the cord or whatever to get the thing or whatever. And then the last one was Robin, right? He was the last guy.
Yeah, Robin was the last one because he was the one. He was the like friend
Yeah.
of Finn, and he like gave him all the confidence he needed. So going into the end, you have like he's got that big hole dug.
Yep.
He had tried to break out the window, and he hid the like cage thing that came off in the hole. He had the hole in the wall for the freezer, which had a whole bunch of stakes in it.
For Samson.
Yeah, for Samson. And then he had the wire that one kid had dug out. So he had all this stuff built up to the climax of the movie.
And then one of them was the bike code that was on the door.
Oh, yeah.
Also.
I think that was the Paperboy one, Billy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so there's a padlock on the door. So the only time he tries to get out, because at one point the grabber leaves the door open, like cracked open, and he gets a phone call. He's like, "Don't go up there. It's a trap." He plays the.
Don't do it.
What's the name of the game?
Naughty game or
The
something?
Naughty
game.
Boy.
Naughty Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's like, if you go up
Such a
there-
weird name.
Yeah, this is like trending, dipping your toes into pedophilia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was expecting it to go to that at some point, but it never really does, and they never really say anything about it. So
Yeah.
that's another one thing like I said, it's like I'm not clear fully on how far he would go, but the kid is just like, don't go up there. He's gonna play the naughty game. It hurts so bad. He whips you. Blah blah blah. So the camera pans up, and he's like sitting in the kitchen on a chair with no shirt on, just like with his belt in, and he's just like falling asleep because Finn won't go up there.
Yeah.
Have to go Hulkamania on him.
And then Billy eventually, another phone call, like the next day or something, he tells him that there's a padlock on the door. The combination I scratched onto the wall. You have to find it. He's like, he's asleep right now. Here's your chance. So he finds the numbers, but they're not like, there's no
in order or anything.
They're in order, but there's no dashes, so you don't know if
Oh,
it's like
okay.
a 11 or it's a 1, and the next number has a 1 at the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
so he's got to sneak past the grabber, go to the door. He gets it undone, or the padlock off, and like runs out. But the grabber wakes up
Because Samson.
Yeah,
Because right when he undid the lock and pushed it down, it made noise, and Samson went crazy.
yeah. So the grabber, like, he's like running, screaming. So people are turning on their lights, about to look out. But the grabber gets him and puts a knife to his throat and threatens to kill him if he says anything.
Yeah.
And even though people heard some screaming, they're like 5 seconds. Nope, don't see anything. Turn the light off.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
No one comes outside to look. So he gets put back in the basement, obviously. Do you guys like the mask?
I like the one when it smiles. I feel like that one's more intimidating.
Kind of like the main mask.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the mask fits into the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nice design. It's a nice mask, and it's by Tom Savini. Any horror people out there know who that is. Like one of the greatest makeup artists of all time. I don't know. I don't understand if it's like a different persona. He's being the devil now. Like, I just don't understand how it mixes in with this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And plus, how does his brother not notice he's wearing these masks or has these masks or moving bodies across the street to bury him in the other house?
Magic, bro.
I guess that's true.
Sleight of hand.
Nice call in. Sakura.
You're looking over here, and he's doing something over here. Sleight of hand. David Blaine, Chris Angeldom. I don't know any other magicians. David Copperfield, Houdini.
And at the same time, you have Gwen, the sister. She starts dreaming and sees him in the house. So she sees the house and convinces her dad against his will to like drive her around looking. So she's just constantly trying to find the house. She's talking to detectives multiple times. That's what led him to Max's house at the beginning.
Yeah.
When she saw the house. And in one vision, she finally sees the grabber standing outside the house with like the balloons.
Next to like the big tree, the weird looking tree in the front yard.
Yeah.
And then she's, I think, riding a bike at one point. She's riding a bike, looking around or whatever, and all of a sudden she sees the 5 ghost kids and then falls off the bike and then looks up and then they're not there. And then she looks left and sees the house, whatever, with the 7714.
That was like right before we're getting into
address.
that's like when we're getting into the climax of the movie.
Climax. There was a climax to this movie. I must have missed it.
Well, sometimes I feel like when you're watching the movies that your mind just like zones out.
Me personally,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially if it's not interesting to me.
This one was, like I said, this is like a mediocre movie. We'll get to that in the post discussion.
Yeah, I don't know how it made so much money.
I don't know. Me personally, because I saw this in theaters, I was really excited for it when I saw the trailer. So
Trailer made it look good.
yeah, so
Yeah, this is not the movie I expected at all from the trailer.
Yeah, I had really high hopes for it when I saw the trailer.
Same with Smile. The trailer made it look good,
Yeah.
but Sosie Bacon made it look better.
Oh, that one other kid's name was Vince.
Okay, that doesn't even sound familiar, but yeah.
Because like it was after he escapes and stuff like that and he gets put back. Vince is the one that calls or whatever, and he's like, "Today's the day you're gonna die or whatever. Today is the day." So basically, you're moving up. Like Finney has to make his move now, and then he gets the call from Robin that helps him plan everything out and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. So he basically sets a trap. So like we said, you have the sister Gwen who has now found the house, saw the ghost or whatever, and you have the showdown between Finney and the grabber going on.
But before that,
First off, the grabber is going to I think he's at the hardware store.
something like that, or he was at work.
And then Max just...
I think Max said he's at work. He needed to go in for work for something.
I think they showed him at the store, though, like a hardware store. Either way, he's out of the house, and then Max comes to realization. Was there anything that happened that made him realize what...
No, I think he just kept looking at the board or whatever and just was like studying it and then realized
that...
Wait,
this like my brother's house is like where I'm telling the cops.
yeah.
So then he's like going into the basement and like
He
creeping
looks
down.
at the basement door first. He looks at it and then he walks when he goes, "No, I shouldn't." And then he eventually goes down there and then you see Vinny down there with the phone in his hand ready to start swinging like Robin was teaching him. And it turns out it's Max.
Yeah, I forgot. Robin teaches him how to
Right.
punch, but like where he's like forward, back, forward, punch, like
Swing, yeah.
whatever. That was a weird scene, but okay, I'll accept it because
You gotta stuff dirt in the phone.
Yeah.
that was smart.
Yeah.
I'm actually was like, okay, that added the realism to it, like it makes it heavier. I'll accept that a little bit. The fighting technique, I don't think that's a great technique. But so yeah, Max is coming down the stairs and he opens the door and then he's like, oh my, like he realizes his brother is the grabber.
Yeah.
And then Finney's like, that's not the grabber. So he's like about to,
he's like Vinny is all like serious and everything. And then he realizes that it wasn't the grabber, and then he's like, "You gotta help me. You gotta call the cops. You gotta call my parents and everything." He goes, "Yeah, don't worry. The grabber's out or wherever he said he was at." And then the door starts to swing open a little bit more because I think he wanted to check out the basement or something, or he opened the door for something.
I don't remember, but
And then behind him is the grabber and
Yeah,
acts
his brother.
right to the back of his head.
kills his brother in cold blood right then and there. And then that's when he starts going after Finney, right?
Yep. He chains Samson to the wall, so I guess.
Oh yeah, he
he's
brings the
not
dog
part of
down,
it.
chains him to the wall. Like, okay, so he's gonna kill Finney somehow. The dog is associated.
Gonna eat him.
But is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
he
I don't
can
get the
have,
whole
like-
point of the dog there.
Yeah,
Intimidation.
Yeah,
maybe
it's
just so
true.
he can't escape. If he gets away from the grabber, he can't just run up the stairs or something. But that's when part of the other thing ties into it. So does he hit him with the phone?
No, he's about to swing the axe or whatever, and then Finney dodges the axe, and then he lands under the bed. Then Finney runs over to the hole, jumps over the hole, grabs the cord or whatever. So it has like that string that's like just pointed out.
Yeah.
Then the grabber runs over there, trips over it, lands into the hole, and like breaks his ankle.
Yeah,
with
the hole is covered with the carpet, and it's at an angle now because it's got the bar on it. So he trips over the tripwire, falls in that, like destroys his like ankle, and now he's like waist deep in the hole, and like kind of like trapped. So Finney's now doing his punching technique.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a grown man. He could have just boosted himself right out of that hole.
He's got a fucking broke ankle, and now
He could have used his arms.
He's getting punched. He's not.
Right, he's getting punched by like a 12-year-old. He could have done it.
Hey, he practiced for 2 minutes how to punch. All right.
You're right. You're right.
I know I'm right.
He did. He got virtual lessons through the phone.
From a ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Finney's swinging, dodging, swinging, hits him 2 times, and then he doesn't do what he's been learning to do. So then the grabber grabs him, and then now both of them are in the hole,
Yeah.
struggling together. And then Finney takes off his mask,
Yeah, this is when the mask comes out and he's like flaring around, like
going crazy. He goes, "No, no, no,
My face.
I know. It's like you're not wearing the mask all the time. Like what the hell?
Yeah,
And Finney like kills him, right? Does he choke him?
Yeah, he chokes him with the wire.
he grabs the phone or whatever, and then he flips over him,
Hurricanrana.
and he chokes him with the cord, pretty good. And then all of a sudden, the phone rings.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this is my quote of the movie right here.
What was
Finney
it?
grabs the phone, hands it to him, and he goes, "It's for you." And
Oh,
then it
yeah.
has all the kids yelling at him, saying, "Yeah, you die, motherfucker," all that other stuff. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that
So it was
part.
like Finney's representing all the kids. He's got like all their strengths basically, and all together they kill him.
And he says, Finney's arm is mint.
And also when this is going on, the detectives are in the house that Max was in. They think that's where it is, and they're about to leave, and then one finds like, oh look, there's the basement door because it's like halfway hidden. Terrible detective work,
Right.
but they find it and they go down, and it's not the same basement. It's actually like there's 5 mounds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
with an open grave waiting.
Yeah, so it's the dead bodies of the missing boys and one ready to bury Finn. Then they're like sisters out there waiting too and stuff like that, and they're coming up, and then Finn's like walking out the door, and she sees him first, and it goes over there, and that's basically
the movie. Only thing really that other stuff happens is that all the cops realize that Finney's out of the house, and they grab him and they set him in an ambulance. And then the dad comes running over there and hugs Finney. The first time he's like actually cared for these kids or whatever.
yeah.
And he's like, "I'm so sorry," and he starts begging to them. He's just like, "I'm
Yeah,
sorry."
he's like down
I'm
on his
sorry."
hands and knees.
Yeah.
They're not really forgiving him, but
Yeah,
they're just looking at each other
whatever.
like, we got each other. That's the family, Screw our dad, basically. And then after that, also we get the one scene where he's like walking down the school hallway. Everyone's like talking about him, like that's
the
him,
kid. Everybody's
that's the
staring at him
kid,
in the
blah, blah, blah.
hallways. Yep.
And at the beginning of the movie, he gets like his friends out of the class, so he gets teamed up with like this girl that he's crushing on, but he's like kind of not.
He's a nerd.
Yeah, he's a nerd, so like afraid to talk. She's like, I'm jealous of your friendship with your sister, this and that. So that made him happy. And then at the end of this movie, she's, they're sitting
Call
next to
me
each other.
Finn.
Yeah, call me Finn. He's a man now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie. So first off, positives. I like the sounds in this movie. I like the light score, the way it's shot. All the kid actors were great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
so the acting is good in this movie, and yeah, it's not much else. Like it's a little original. Ethan Hawke was great in it, even though I don't. The character, see, it's a yes and no thing on this one. It's Ethan Hawke was great as the character he portrayed. I just think the character wasn't too intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's almost like I don't know. It's like a character I could see Johnny Depp playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either
That's
way.
true.
So like the design, the way it's shot, everything. I like that it takes place in '78 because I love time period movies. I think
Yeah.
the clothes, the look of it, they fit that perfectly.
Yeah, for sure.
It also lets them get away with like there's no cell phones and stuff like that. Do I have any more positives? I think that's it about my positives. You guys have anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple. I really do like the beginning intro
Oh
where it's like that really creepy style intro to this movie. I was
You're
like,
right. I forgot to mention that. I love that. That set the mood for the whole movie.
yeah, I really like that. I don't know, something about it. It's very like gonna make you scary because there was like blood, you know, then it has all the missing people, but it's like shot really fast. So, and it has that music behind it or whatever. That's very creepy. I like the chemistry between the brother and the sister because they work really well together. I think, like you said, acting was really good. I liked the masks weren't really scary, but I think the smile, the smile, the original one, I think that one was the scary. I don't know. I felt like that was very intimidating, but
I just don't know how it worked in the
Fiend.
film.
yeah.
I think that my favorite part about this movie was the thing with the dead kids and the phone.
Yeah, the ghost kids were the best part about
and
the movie.
each phone call was taken like his defense one step further.
Yeah,
That's
that's
probably
true.
the best thing this movie had going.
And when
for
they
it.
would show up when he was on the phone,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
You wouldn't see him, but
Right, but they were behind him and like they were talking. Cool.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
really well done.
Yeah, I like that. I like that the brother found out that it was his house. I feel like if they didn't have that, it'd be, I don't know, off. But I did like that the brother found out that it was his
Yeah.
house.
I just feel like he would have found it earlier. He's got when
Yeah.
you go through all that time with
I mean,
like
he's a
the-
cokehead. He could have figured that shit out immediately. Just walk around, man. What are you doing?
well, he's in the movie Sinister, which is like directed by this guy and written by this guy, and also has Ethan Hawke in
Yeah.
it. Have you
Yeah.
seen Sinister?
Yeah, that's the one with the tapes, right?
Yeah.
And he's playing like he's a detective or a cop in that movie too, and trying to figure stuff out. So almost kind of playing like if that character became a cokehead and was fired from being a cop.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm seeing.
Another some scenes that I do like though is at the beginning of the movie when the sister is getting beat up by the belt or whatever, and she's sitting in the living room with her brother. She puts her head on his shoulders, and then at the end of the movie, when they're both sitting in the emergency, the ambulance, he puts his shoulder on her shoulder, which I like is a good callback.
Nice. I did not catch that. I didn't know it was reversed.
But then again,
shoulders.
this is your first time watching. It's my second, so I kind of paid a little bit more attention to some other stuff, but that one just called.
All right.
out for
That
me.
is my new favorite detail about this movie. Nice catch.
Yeah, I like that one.
I was watching it a second time, but I only got like 30 minutes in, and then I ran out of time. So,
That's all my positives, I think. I don't know if you have any more.
you,
score.
sir?
I just like the ghost kids on the phone when they show up. It's
Yeah,
about
that's
what I
nice, yeah.
liked.
That's the only positive in this movie for Sakura.
Yeah, I mean, the cinematography is well done.
All right. Who wants to go first on negatives then? Sakura?
No,
Tyler?
I don't have anything that really just points out to me right now, but watching this for the first time, I honestly didn't really like how it ended. But watching it a second time, it's okay how it ended. I thought they were gonna do something else with the kids, or I don't know. I thought there was gonna be a twist. I know a lot of movies have to try and do that twist, but I don't know. I felt like there was gonna be some other type of twist, but I didn't get it. But I think it was okay how it ended afterwards.
I don't need the huge twist anymore. I'm kind of getting over every horror movie in particular having to have a huge twist. When it's done right, it's awesome, but not every movie has to have that huge twist. Like
Yeah.
then you're looking for it. You're spending more time looking for the twist instead of just enjoying the movie. But yeah. For me, some of the negatives I've already talked about, like we didn't get enough information about the grabber. You kind of just have to assume some stuff.
Yeah.
And he isn't very intimidating. My biggest problem with this movie is it's supposed to be a horror or
yes,
Yeah.
what's that one? What's that word?
horror.
Thriller?
Thriller. It's supposed to be like a horror or thriller movie, but at no point was this movie scary to me. And I'm at the point where like it takes a lot for a movie to scare me, but like watching this movie, I can see like, oh, that would be scary for people who aren't used to watching every horror movie.
Yeah.
I just feel like this movie wasn't scary at any point, or really I didn't feel intense. Like, oh my God, he's going up the stairs. Like I never felt that with this movie. So it kind of failed to build that for me.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with that.
And then there's certain things that happen in this movie that I don't really find believable. And that is Robin wasn't able to fight back to do anything. You think he would at least like put some damage on this guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Max not realizing it's his brother's house. He's doing all this research. You know, we already talked about this, but like he knows everything and he can't figure out that his brother is doing this.
And it's weird that he doesn't know the basement either.
Right.
Like, they share the house, correct? Or it's like
Yeah.
both their houses. I don't know. I feel like he should know the basement and like go down there like here and there, because I think he was there for like I don't know a week maybe.
Yeah, let's say he was down there for a week, at least a few days. But here's the other problem I have with this movie is how did the grabber not realize Finn's doing all this stuff? He's dug a huge hole. I mean, like, he got rid of the dirt in the toilet and stuff like that. But there's a huge hole. There's a huge hole in the wall that he gets into the freezer. Oh, by the way, he also uses the steak from the freezer for the dog, Samson.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention that.
Is that like right after he kills him? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
right
how
after
he
he kills him, he takes one of the steaks and gives it to Samson.
I thought he was going to do that from the start. Like
right.
when
I
he got
knew
down there.
I knew the meat was coming in.
Yeah.
For one thing. Yeah, not only because this guy buy 2 houses, he has a whole freezer just full of like tons of steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's living good.
Yeah, so there's just some weak things in the movie that aren't believable, but overall, none of them like ruin the movie for me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this movie isn't amazing to me. It's kind of a middle of the run movie.
Yeah.
So should we go ahead and get to grading or?
Sure.
All right. I myself am giving this movie. Let's see, I want to compare it to the movie Smile. I gave that a 3.5. This movie I think is technically better than Smile, but Smile had scarier moments in this movie. So I'm just gonna give it the same grade of a 3.5.
Nice. I will double down with a 3.5.
3.5. All right. Curious about this answer. I really don't. I have no idea what you're.
Since
giving
I
this
walked
movie.
in, we always. Did you just watch the movie? Yeah. And then I always try to pay attention to see how you.
I know he's
feel
usually
about
like
after
just
that.
shocked, but
Yeah.
what are we getting from Score over here on the couch?
1.5.
1.5. I
just
felt
didn't
maybe he was
like
gonna
this
say a
one.
2. I don't know.
I was thinking 2, but overall, this movie just didn't do anything for me. I was very bored throughout the entire,
I can't even attack you for that
Film.
because
like, it was I wanted to like it, like, especially with the ghost kids, and the dog didn't get hurt, so that's a positive.
yeah, I thought this movie was gonna be better, and I like the beginning. I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
I thought some cool shit was going to go down.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I just felt like nothing really happened, and I was just like, I was just like half paying attention at certain points because I was just like, I don't need to pay attention because I'm
Right.
not going to miss anything.
No,
Yeah.
I can't disagree with what you're saying.
But like, it's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie. But it just, for me, it's a 1.5.
Yeah, so that gives
Like,
us.
I don't know how it's got an 83%
83.
on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so that gives us an average of a 3.2
Like,
roughly.
the actors were good.
So it's like kind of basically a middle of the road movie. So as always, our grading scale is a 5 is a true classic, 4 is a pretty darn good, 3 is the middle of the road, 2 is it should be better, 1 is it's bad, and 0 is nothing redeemable. Should have said that before. Oh well.
It's okay. I feel like they should know by now, but
Yeah, but
Yeah.
sometimes this could be the first time they listen
If
to
you
us.
don't know, now you know.
yep.
There you go.
All right, should I hit you guys with some interesting facts?
Oh yeah, we'll do that in just 1 second.
Okay.
But Sakura, would you rather watch this or Smile again?
Smile.
Tyler?
And for one reason and one reason
Yeah,
only.
I figured that was your reason.
You can just pause Smile and just leave it on the TV with just a certain actress on there.
Right.
I don't have to watch the movie.
I would probably watch this one over Smile.
That's fair.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 with both. I do like both of them in different ways, but I don't know. Maybe Black Phone over Smile, but I do like Smile though.
Yeah, they're kind of equal but
Yeah.
different at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. You got interesting facts? I only have a few, and they're not very interesting. So
Oh.
let's go
Okay.
with Tyler first.
All right. Movie is an adaptation of a short film in 2004 called The Short Story of the Same Name.
Short story of the Black Phone.
Black Phone.
I know.
Black Phone.
The Black Phone.
Black Phone.
The Black Phone.
Okay, now I'm actually doing a tally of Black Phone on the screen. Because,
I didn't say it enough earlier.
say what?
Black Phone.
Ethan Hawke originally didn't want to do the movie because he didn't want to be remembered as a scary performer for the rest of his career, but then realized he was in his 50s.
And then realized he wasn't a scary performer.
No, here's
and
the
you never see his face ever. You wouldn't know that was Ethan Hawke if his name wasn't attached.
Well,
yeah.
here's the other thing. Since they worked together on Sinister, he had to be convinced by the director to do Sinister because he didn't want to do horror movies. And he was like, it's going to be a lot of fun, this and that, blah, 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 blah. So this time he went to Ethan Hawke again, and Ethan Hawke's like, I don't want to do a horror again. And he's like, send me the script. If it's like really good, if it's a really good character, I'll do it again. And like he called back later that night. He's like, I'm in, because he read the script.
You probably saw the paycheck attached to him too.
They probably liked working together too.
Yeah, probably,
Well,
dude.
So if you look at it, Ethan Hawke's character, that stuff could be shot in just a couple of days. So
Yeah,
So
maybe even
you-
one day.
the payment, he probably had like a small upfront fee and then probably had like back end deal of profits.
Robert Downey Jr. style.
Yeah, well, smaller than that though.
Yeah.
This movie was also shot in 30 days, so
Yeah, I was just gonna say, continuing off of what we just said there, script was written in 6 weeks and then took 33 days to shoot. All the jewelry that Ethan Hawke was wearing as the grabber is Ethan Hawke's jewelry and not just somebody else's.
what do you have, like bracelets or something?
Get a watch.
He
on.
had a watch, a couple of rings, I think, but
I did notice like a ring. I didn't really pay
Yeah.
attention to the other stuff.
I saw a watch.
there's not much. But
You mean this face?
prosthetic makeup artists made 3 different masks used by the grabber, which was, the no face, the frown, or the smile.
His name is Tom Savini.
Yep, there you go. I didn't write that down, but yeah. And he was scared to see Ethan Hawke in action with the mask when they were filming. The paperboy that we do see in the movie is actually a reference to an actual paperboy who went missing in Iowa in 1982, which is a cool little add in there. The director didn't want to put a couple of the jump scares in the trailers, so it's more effective to the people in theaters. I said this in the last one.
Yeah,
with
what jump
the-
scares?
I can only think of really one jump scare is when like the kid's like upside down,
Oh yeah, and he's bleeding,
Yeah.
and he like points.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's that one, and then
Oh yeah,
the paper boy when he was dead. That was in the trailer.
that kid who's like hanging though. That's not even really that much of a jump scare because it's not like a blah. It's
Like they have the sound
It-
thing that make it feel like it's a jump
yeah,
scare, but
it's overall the way it's shot wasn't really a jump scare. It's just a scare.
yeah.
I feel like some people are losing what the meaning of a jump scare.
The director's son makes a cameo in the movie as he was the one that bumped into the pinball machine at the place or whatever. The ending was rewritten many times as one was to have all the ghost kids be revealed when being choked by the phone cord, but then decided to have the phone call instead.
I like the phone call better. I think.
Yeah. And it has my quote in the movie, and so I do like it better.
Was that all your
More
trivia?
ghost kids.
I got no. That means more victims. We don't need that.
No, I mean they could have showed up.
All right. I got
For a
two more
second.
things to put on here. We have the movie was originally supposed to come out in January, then it came out I think in July or something like that.
June.
It tested so high that the studio pushed it back to a summer release because it was going to be successful. And the other one was the horror scene that Finn is watching at night. He's like watching a horror movie with like the hand with
Yep.
blood. It's from a movie called The Tingler from 1959. And that's because that is the film that the director saw when he was a kid that scared the crap out of him and made him want to become like, got him into horror. So,
Nice. Yeah, I always try and pay attention to either like movies or shows that people watch in certain movies because I feel like it always has some type of connection to either directors or the filmmakers somewhere. But yeah,
Somewhere, somehow.
I think that's all we got.
yeah, I think that's a wrap on this one. I just feel like there's not as much to talk about on this one. So sorry, guys. This is a little bit shorter, but
But feel free to watch this. It's on free on Amazon Prime right now. So
Or you can pay for it.
that
even if
too.
you have Amazon Prime, you can
Yeah,
still pay
you
for
can
it.
still pay for it.
Sakura wanted to do so badly.
I'm so glad I did not.
Well, that's why we chose this movie. I texted you.
I know.
The last 2 movies were so you wouldn't have to rent it.
I don't care.
What are you talking about? You don't care. You always used to mention it. Of course, now you're making that mad money in your new job, huh?
Yeah, it's no big thing, man. I got money to spare.
Bricks of gold.
That's right.
All right, I think I'll do a wrap on this one.
Yep.
As always, I'm Mike.
Sakura.
And Tyler.
Oh, I don't have the music queued up. Hold on, buddy.
I can always just use the stuff at the beginning and put it at the end.
Could, or I could do this. It's going.
Who's there?
Black phone.
7 days.
Hey, is the black phone ringing?
Maybe.
7 days. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, the ring.
I know, sir.